It just got very real as an NBA insider has dropped a bombshell report surrounding the Celtics' pursuit of Damian Lillard. We're going to break down these reports and discuss what it means going forward as this changes everything for the landscape of this team. We also have some other interesting updates to go over today, folks. Before we get into it all, if you're part of the percentage who aren't subscribed to the channel, make sure to hit the subscribe button. Your guys' support's been unbelievable, folks. A lot to go over today, and the pursuit of Damian Lillard has been very, very interesting. And of course, he only got waived a couple days ago, but since then, there's been a lot of new reports and a brand new report here. And there's a lot of articles to go over today. I want to start with this because this kind of highlights the best overall kind of everything of the interview. You can see this here, or of the report rather. You can see this here. Lillard could have interest in Boston too, citing his respect for the organization and his long friendship with Jayson Tatum. And the feeling appears to be mutual between Damian Lillard and the Boston Celtics. And of course, there was a full article that dropped here, and things have gotten very real very quickly with the Damian Lillard situation. Of course, he was waived a few days ago, and since then, there's been a lot of teams that have emerged as suitors for Damian Lillard, but none as prominent as the Boston Celtics. And there's a few reasons why, and of course, I had a video on it when it happened, or when he got waived rather, but it makes so much sense for the timeline of this team compared to a lot of the other suitors. But also, Jayson Tatum seems to be playing a major factor. And this was an article that dropped, I believe it was NBS Sports, NBC Sports, or something like that. And you can see this here. Do the Celtics really have interest in signing Damian Lillard? And would Lillard really have interest in coming to Boston? The answer to both of those questions might be yes. The Celtics, along with the Lakers and Warriors, are known to be among the many teams eyeing Damian Lillard per The Athletic. I covered that in my video a couple days ago. I believe it was yesterday, actually, that there's basically three teams at the moment that have made at least an effort to potentially pursue an offer for, of course, the all-star point guard. And according to the Boston Globe's Adam Himmelsbach, the Celtics could be on Lillard's radar as well. And this is kind of taken over the media cycle today. You can see this here. A league source also made it clear that Lillard could have interest in Boston too, citing his respect for the organization and his long friendship with Jayson Tatum. And that's where things start to get very interesting, because we'll dive into the fit and things like that in a minute. But I want you all to leave in the comment section right now, do you want to see the Celtics pursue Damian Lillard? And we talk about the fits and, the fits he could potentially have. Keep in mind, Lillard's probably going to be out for the majority of next season, and that plays a very crucial and pivotal role in what this means for next season for Damian Lillard. He probably wants to join a team where he can kind of be encompassed in the team, potentially, who knows how long a sign, maybe a 1-year deal, 2-year deal, whatever it ends up being. But it's not going to be for very much, because the Bucks are, of course, paying him the 23 million for the next 24 million for the next 5 seasons. But if he can join the Celtics now, you can kind of build yourself alongside Jayson Tatum, both recovering, and both, of course, I believe both tearing their Achilles. And Lillard's reportedly had a long friendship with Jayson Tatum, and they both suffered serious Achilles injuries not that long apart, less than a month apart. And they are both expected to miss the majority of the season. If Lillard wants a rehab partner, has a desire to play alongside Tatum in 2026, 2027, that can make Boston the most intriguing option. And that's the most interesting part here. They're recovering together. They could, in theory, the same injury. They already won the championship a couple years ago, and then they can prepare for the following season when you have Jaylen Brown, Jayson Tatum, and then Damian Lillard. You kind of bring back a big three here, and you kind of just play next season as it is. Maybe, Dame comes back towards the end. Maybe Tatum comes back, probably not, but towards the end, whatever it ends up being, right? Whenever they decide to return and get healthy. It would be a very interesting scenario here, and one that is pretty unprecedented. 2 Achilles tear injury, 2 All-Stars. Of course, you can see their friendship in the middle here. How far do Lillard and Tatum go back? The 2 All-Stars appear to have a close relationship as early as 2021, when Lillard contacted Tatum and convinced him to play for Team USA. Lillard and Tatum won a gold medal together in Tokyo, with their young children even spending some time together, which is very interesting because no one really talks about the relationship part of it. For Damian Lillard, the money means nothing at this point. Like, he's going to go wherever he wants to go, right? And of course, they have kids that are similar age. They've been playing together in the league for, both a while. Of course, Damian Lillard longer than Jayson Tatum, but they have mutual respect for one another. And you look at how it would actually happen here, and we can dive in some of the specifics. The Celtics are likely to operate in the first apron, as we know. They have a taxpayer mid-level exception available at 5.6 to offer Lillard, who has only been to 1 conference final in his career. He is turning 35, and that you can see in the third paragraph. That leaves Lillard as a free agent for the first time in his career, but perhaps his best chance to winning the long-desired championship is signing with Boston. And according to an NBA source, Lillard will consider signing with the Celtics, and the Celtics are indeed interested in Lillard. So, interesting. And it seems that now we think back to when He was in the Blazers and they reportedly didn't want to come to Boston. It seems now that it's changed and that he's willing to explore the option of coming to Boston. And when you look at it, if he's looking for the best chance to win a championship in 2026, the Celtics are up there, right? And again, their team is much different than when they won the championship a couple of years ago with Jrue Holiday gone, Kristaps Porziņģis gone, and some of the Al Horford most likely gone. But that doesn't really, change much now because not that, I mean, it changes a lot, but I'm saying next season, following next year, if they rehab together and you have hopefully what is, again, at 5.6 million, even if Damian Lillard ends up having a really bad season, it is what it is, right? Like you're not really risking too much, but the ceiling here is an all-star and a very, very good all-star at that. I mean, his ceiling is an MVP caliber player, but I don't think once he returns his age 35, 36 season, he's going to be, an MVP caliber player. But you look at last year, even his last healthy year, which was last season, he was an all-star. Year before that, all-star. Year before that, all-star, right? And he's a extremely high ceiling player. And whether or not he loses some of his step, the good news is most of his abilities does not rely on athleticism. It relies on being an elite, deep shooter, right? And we all know, he's notorious for that shot against Paul George, notorious for deep threes. Of course, not quite Steph Curry level, but arguably, like, in some aspects, almost as good or better at Steph Curry at specifically very, very deep threes. He's kind of coined that shot. So at the end of the day, it becomes then very, very interesting. You can see this here from Celtics Club. I just want to bring this up because it brings up some interesting points. Every Celtics fan should want to sign Damian Lillard. Bucks are paying his contract, which means he can likely sign for a vet minimum, probably 5.6, but it could be vet. Bucks, give Jayson Tatum somebody to rehab with. It does. Could be super beneficial for Peyton Pritchard to learn from his talents and banner number 19. But most importantly, could be a super beneficial for Peyton Pritchard. That's something else in this. Like, he's a veteran. He's been around a while, hasn't won a championship, has struggled to win with the Blazers. Finally, when he said, okay, I'll stop being super loyal, and he went over to the Milwaukee Bucks, they didn't ultimately win back-to-back seasons for Dame where he went out with injuries and just really wasn't able to play in the playoffs. But at the end of the day, they're in such a good, the Celtics, I think, are in a fine spot here. And if they can go ahead and sign Lillard, it provides some, excitement as well for both of these guys. You have Jayson Tatum, you have Damian Lillard. Things will just be very, very, I think it just makes so much sense overall because you look at the way that this team is currently constructed, right? You have Derrick White, Anthony Simons, Jaylen Brown, Gorgas Niang, Luka Garza. This is not this is not gonna be the next championship team, right? However, you can build, next season alongside, Jaylen Brown, see what you get out of Anthony Simons, assuming they don't trade him, which I think they will. See what you really get out of Peyton Pritchard. Maybe even Neemias Queta takes a step. Baylor Shireman, who we're going to see in Summer League, takes a step. You have Hugo Gonzalez, might get some, minutes. But most importantly, like, they're going to make some changes, but this isn't the season to win at all. It's the next following year. And if you can get Tatum at very cheap, no one ever thought Tatum was going to go for 5.6 million, even like at any point in his career, because of how good and talented he is. You have the ability to do that now. Dame doesn't have to worry about money because he's sorted from Milwaukee, and now he can just focus on locking in and being an absolute beast like he was back in Milwaukee and, most importantly and most notably, the Portland Trail Blazers. But let me know down below your thoughts on this, folks. Things have gotten very real, and Jayson Tatum being a part of the recruitment process, according to sources. Let me know down below what your thoughts are. We're going to keep you up to date with every piece of information that comes out on every step of the way, so make sure to hit that subscribe button, and it's going to be an interesting season, and we'll keep you up to date. Thank you guys for watching. Cheers.